Well guys, what's up? Corey the Sandman Sandhagen here. I just got back from Anaheim, California, here to bring you guys some breakdowns. The biggest fight of the night, Topuria versus Volkanovski. You hate to see Volkanovski get knocked out, but sometimes it just be like that. So let's get into how that kind of happened. I feel like I have a lot of really good information to give, specifically being a mover against a grounded opponent, which is like kind of the two archetypes that we're talking about here when we're talking Volkanovski and Topuria. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe. Let's get into the breakdown. All right, guys, let's crack into this breakdown, okay? You hate to see Volk lose, but let's talk about how I believe it kind of happened, okay? Volk's one of the greatest in the world. Who am I to criticize the guy? But this is a typical mover versus grounded guy scenario, and I feel like I've had my fair share of like thinking about this type of situation. So you be Ilya, I'll be Volk, okay? Volk is definitely the guy that's more floaty on the floor. Okay? It gives him an ability to move more. What it takes away, though, is his ability to plant and fire really hard, kind of. Okay? Like, obviously, me being a little bit of a mover, like if I'm Volk, he's circling hard left, stuff like that. When I do go to attack, it's typically like a lunging type of thing, okay? Which is why when you see guys that have this kind of like floaty style, they use a lot of kicks because the range is like such a gap when you're being the mover guy that kicks just fill that gap a lot easier than me being a mover, me jumping into this and then potentially getting hit with some shit, okay? But Volk being the mover that he is, uses the right tools, spams a lot of left kicks. My opinion about why that was probably going on, I didn't get to ask him, is when you're fighting someone that's grounded, wants to wait and then counter you, if you throw a ton of body kicks, it ties up their arms, okay? It makes it so that they don't get to just punch whenever they want. They have to connect to the floor, block this, and then try to counter me afterwards. And typically, if I'm like good enough, I can like really connect them to the floor and get myself out of the way quick enough. Same thing with the inside low kick. People don't get to press me as easy if every time they step in, I chop out the inside of the leg, which is a little bit different than if I chop out the outside of their leg, which doesn't take their balance as much, unless you're kicking the calf, which is another story. But if I kick above his leg and he's a grounded guy, he really doesn't get knocked off balance. Like I said, it changes. When I kick him in the calf, this will start to take his balance away. This definitely, I won't say definitely won't, but typically won't. And the inside definitely will. So that's why I'm thinking that Volk was, using a lot of those left kicks, trying to tie up the arms, make the grounded guy have to ground and then answer, take his inside leg away so that some of his balance is a little messed up so that he doesn't get to press the same way that he wants to press, okay? I kind of not knew, but I started to have like a little bit of like not a great feeling in the second round when Ilya started to pick it up. Because in round one, it seemed like, oh, okay, like I can't really tell if Ilya is holding back because he knows it's a 5-round fight, or if Ilya just can't find Volk with any of the attacks that he's trying to get. Turns out he was holding back, okay? So in the second round, he opens up a lot more, okay? The problem with being a mover guy is if you're fighting a good grounded guy, you're always going to get to go second. So what I mean by that, when Elias is grounded to the floor, okay, he gets to punch whenever he wants to punch because he's connected. It's like a sprinter when they're in their little like whatever those things are, and they're like this. The bell goes, they take off. When you're being a grounded guy and you're connecting to the floor, that's the scenario that you're in. The bell goes, you can fire immediately with whatever you want. If you're being a bouncy guy, go ahead and be a bouncy guy. If you're being a bouncy guy, you typically have to go from this to connecting and then throwing your punch. And it happens in like milliseconds, right? But that's kind of how it works. So when he's being bouncy guy and I'm being grounded guy, if he makes a move at me and I make a move at him, assuming that the space that he has to cover is, significant, or normal, like a normal amount of space to cover, I have the ability to be like, that's coming, bang, and throw it immediately. Opposed to if me and Elias are both bouncy guys and he goes to try to punch at me, I have to ground and then punch at him, then I'm definitely being way, way behind. But long story short, if you're grounded to the floor, you get to go in an instance. When you're a bouncy guy, you have to take a millisecond to connect to the floor and then go. The reason that that's a problem against really good guys is because if I'm being grounded to the floor and I'm being Ilya, you be Volk, and I'm being Ilya, and I'm here and I'm trying to find my spots, this person, and I know firsthand, is not feeling too great about having someone that looks ready all the time. Not ready like in their eyes, but ready in the positioning of their body as well, okay? So Ilya's being this guy, Volk's kicking him a bunch, boom. Ilya's cool, he's fine with everything. He starts to kind of find things a little bit, gets Volk against the cage, and then it was just a matter of Volk being the mover guy, needs to set first. Ilya's already set, throws the right hand, knocks Volk out. We all hate to see it. We hate it so much, but it happens. And the reason is because when you're going to be mover guy, it takes a second for you to plant, then throw. When you're Ilya, grounded to the floor guy, you can march people down. You can react very quick. You can pull them out of their position like how Volk kind of did against the fence. And then you can be the guy that gets to punch first in those types of scenarios. So make sure you guys like and subscribe underneath. Peace. I love you. Follow along for the other breakdowns. Bye.